start the episode. Hi, everyone.
No, I'm starting this. I was sick last episode, and I am healthy.
Mostly. You can start the episode, though.
Welcome back, friends of Disney. So I was sick last episode.
We're back in person.
I'm not contagious sick, but I'm still sick. I got a sinus infection.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, no sorry.
Gotta represent the six.
But today's episode, I am so excited about. This movie is an equivalent, like a step below Cinderella for me.
I was gonna say, I can't tell what you were more excited for, Cinderella or this episode.
Yeah.
And I know you guys on YouTube couldn't actually see us for the Cinderella episode, but I'm like, can't tell which one she's more happy about.
I love this movie, and it involves the cold. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of really good character storytelling in this, and
It's not Frozen.
It's intrigue. We're still not telling you the title.
it's Ice Princess.
I think this is our first decom.
It's our first decom.
I love this movie.
It's our first decom, right? I'm thinking about this right. It's our first decom, right?
I don't know.
Decom stands for Disney Channel Original Movie.
And I'm
I think this
pretty
is
sure, unless,
the only one I can think of might be Luck of the Irish. Might
Yeah.
be considered a decom.
it's definitely a decom. So this is our second decom.
Yes.
I love
This is the first time we have seen this movie.
Actually,
Okay.
I have fragments of memories of this movie.
Okay, I guess I'm just alone here then.
I'm gonna let you guys go over the story plot of the movie though, because otherwise I'm gonna get so excited talking about Ted.
Okay, so...
I got this.
Okay.
So this movie is a reverse double life story. I say reverse because it's not like a usual double life story.
Like Hannah Montana.
Yes, because normally it's, this mom's like trying to push daughter or whatever into like these like performance type things, or you have the football star for the
Casey
guy for the best.
Carlyle's on her own will.
And they're like, no, I don't want to do any of this stuff. I just want to like go to school, whatever, be every day, go to college, whatever. This was the reverse of it. You have a brainiac, a geek, one of my people.
Someone
That's
who's obsessed
me.
with physics.
She's a huge physics nerd. Her name is Casey, and she's doing this project to get into Harvard, and she does this project about figure skating and ends up falling in love with it and starts to pursue that behind her mom's back.
But I gotta preface this. The movie starts off with her ice skating on a pond, because at her house there's this pond, and in the winter, obviously, water freezes, turns into ice. So Casey has this natural intuition of already skating. She bought these skates, or like I think it was her mom bought the skates at a garage sale. They were like,
They were old shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but she's been using them to skate on this pond, so obviously she already has some inclination towards figure skating for her project.
Yeah.
And she also watches figure skating competitions with her best friend
And she basically ends up using this project to learn the ins and outs of physics of figure skating, which kind of sets her on a giant upswing curve of getting real good real fast, because you have...
into the professional world of figure skating.
It's very
And then
exciting.
she ends up going, into, regional competitions and everything.
And qualifies for nationals.
Qualifies for nationals.
She gets the man.
Oh,
Like every decom, she gets the man.
She gets the man.
there's drama. She's
There
like...
is a lot of drama. And
There
we'll get
is.
into that as we talk through it.
I have a lot of questions on how you feel about certain people.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
what do you want to start with first, since you were so excited about this?
I'm going to go into why I'm so excited about this, because I feel like it is a
Go.
backstory
Go.
needed.
Go.
Okay, so When I was 5, I got put into figure skating because it was something I was intrigued with. And also, it helped me learn how to walk because this girlie over here did not know how to pick up her feet for a very long time.
Is he 2005? When you were 5?
So, oddly enough, this movie came out when I learned to
It's the
skate.
same year.
Yeah. Except I didn't watch this movie until years later.
Oh,
Yeah. But I actually watched this movie when I moved to Grand Coulee. And this is when I couldn't figure skate anymore because it was too costly. When I lived in Oregon, I had private, well, sort of private lessons. They were like group private lessons. And then when we moved to Grand Coulee in the summer, I'd have private lessons with a skater. And I did get recruited a few times. And so this movie just has a home spot with me of like knowing the figure skating realm, and just, I love the sport. I love Ted, and also the coach. I have to point this out.
We should probably explain who Ted is.
we need to go over characters first.
Yes, okay. So
Sorry to everyone who's just like, Jonelle.
who are these people? And I'm just like over here girling over every single character. So Casey, main character, the girl who's doing the physics project, and is the skater. And then there's her friend. I forget the friend's name.
Anna.
Thank you. And then she goes to the rink. Oh, there's also her mom.
Yes.
Her mom, which is also, I don't remember the actress's name, but she plays the gal who plays Debbie in the second Addams Family movie, Addams Family Values. She plays the gal who marries Fester, and she's also the voice of Jessie from Toy Story.
Yeah. And so there's her mom. And then we get over to the skating rink, and there's a group of junior collegiate skaters. And so there's the coach, Tina, and her daughter, Jennifer. And then there's Nikki, and then the other one was, Tiffany. And then there's this evil type of skater that they all compete against, and who is Casey Block, right? Yeah.
Or I don't think it's Casey, but it's like something Block.
Oh, Zoe Block.
That's
so
it.
stupid. Anyways, very edgy girl. You know, she's the one that's always like, "You're not gonna win."
She looks like she went to like Hot Topic and just bought the entire store.
Yes, except ice skating edition, and it's adorable. She always has color change, like different colored boots, and I could go on forever.
This isn't a compliment, by the way. We like Zoe.
Very punky.
Yes, we like Zoe. Like
I
she's a
don't.
crap, but like we love her. Aesthetic.
Oh yes, the aesthetics, yes. Personality, no, trash. And then Nikki has a nickname of the Jumping Shrimp, and then also who also works at the ice rink is Ted, the Zamboni driver,
Who's also
Tina's son.
and Jennifer's brother.
Yes, Jennifer goes by Jen. By the way.
Jennifer also has a boyfriend.
Who like gets mentioned like 30 times during the movie. We see him once.
Yeah.
Like a nice skater.
And at the beginning of the movie, Jen is a bully to Casey.
Yeah.
Classic popular girl versus nerd relationship.
Yeah. Which sucks.
Always sucks.
Yeah.
Always sucks. We're band geeks. We know.
Oh my god. I've been bullied like most of my life growing up too, and I know it's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I was a wallflower.
This
You
movie.
forgot I exist.
Why do you say this? It makes me feel. Every time you say this, it makes me feel bad.
What do you think? People were like, "All right, you were in my class." I was like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm.
I will like to say though that this movie causes like there's a lot of character development with like almost every character. And so your perception of how you feel about the characters is always changing.
It's true. It's true.
But
Except
on
for
to
Tiffany.
the first tangent, I love Tina.
I cannot stand Tina.
So Tina reminds me very much of my first figure skating coach that I had. The massive hard ass coach. My first figure skating coach that I had was very much like Tina. And it just provides this nice little warm, snuggly feeling inside.
Okay.
Yes, I need someone to be strict with me to tell me what I need to do so I can do it right. Because when I was taking lessons, like, I always dreamed of being these girls, of like being a professional figure skater. Like, when I lived in Oregon, every birthday I had was basically at the ice rink. And I even had a figure skating dress. Like, and oddly enough, it was blue. I mean, blue's my favorite color, so don't be surprised. And I was the ice princess, and I was skating on the rink, and I gotta wear this dress with my ice skates on. I felt like a princess, and I was the coolest girl that day.
What are your thoughts on Tina?
I don't like Tina. Listen. Tina is the name of an aunt of mine. So already I'm like, every time I hear her name, I'm like, hold on, I don't like this aunt. Sorry. Tina, if you ever watch this, I don't like you. She looks like my grandma. So off to that, number two. I'm laughing through the thing. And then she reminds me of my mom during the last year of our relationship. Minus like the cute part with her daughter where they're holding hands at the very end. That was really cute. But like she just reminds me of three of my least favorite women. And I love and respect that you love and respect her. But I personally want to chuck her out a window so hard that she explodes.
In terms of a coach, I think she's strict in all the right ways. In terms of how she treats her daughter and how she treated Casey that one time,
And how she treats her son.
not so much. But in terms of her coaching, I loved.
Okay. I have mixed feelings about Tina because
That's
Love,
fair.
hate, middle.
this movie really messed with my expectations of how this movie was gonna go. I won't lie.
I kept thinking there's
Like, I thought Tina was gonna be the kind of person that kind of like saw Casey for what she had and then like take her under her wing and like really try to improve her on a more holistic level. Still being a strict coach, of course, but like, it's like that. Oh, I found this raw talent. I'm gonna try and cultivate it. And then have the mom get in the way and things like that kind of situation. And that's where I thought it was going until the frickin' ice skates incident, where when they were doing the regionals competition,
And bought Casey new skates.
Casey almost lost her skates, and during her like first round run,
because they were so old and so beat up.
and so Tina bought her brand new skates that were not broken in at all.
Which caused Casey's feet to like bleed.
It was so sad seeing what her feet looked like.
If you're wondering, he is a medical professional. I can't look at blood without wanting to vomit. And so I just heard Sean go, "Oh God," and he go, "Oh gosh."
And
Every time I see that scene, your feet are gonna look like that anytime you get new skates.
I get it. I do.
And
And
like it's during a competition, which is
But like,
I was
it's,
like, it
it's
makes
less,
me.
it's less of what her feet looked like and more of the overall situation.
the overall action.
And it really, if you look back, besides the ending, there is no part of Tina being good to Casey at all. Because Tina wasn't asked to Casey from the very beginning. Casey started taking the beginner class, and Tina was still an ass when the judges like scored her like where she jumped 2 levels. They said, "Nope, you can't do regionals."
Well, she
Nope,
was
you can't.
nice on giving her the dress.
yeah.
That is true.
I think she was very realistic on because figure skating is an expensive sport.
A lot of extracurriculars. We talked about that during the beauty pageant with Zach and Cody episode
Yeah.
about how really expensive extracurriculars are.
And this movie is unreal. Like, my cousin, he does hockey.
Same.
He went to Wenatchee, like, during part of his school year to go play hockey down there. And then but his family's still paying for it, and he's living with his team members. And then I think he finished up here in Coeur d'Alene, but I know he's now like looking to going into professional hockey, and it's like figure skating is like an expensive sport. Hockey is an expensive sport. Anything that involves ice, those skates are not cheap. Like I think my figure skates that I have are like $600.
Yeah, it's. I can't think of any extracurricular that's actually cheap, except, only a little except, dancing, just basic dancing.
I didn't do any extracurriculars besides French club.
That's an interesting extracurricular.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to, so early in the mornings on Wednesdays, we would eat cereal that our teacher provided. So there's like Fruit Loops and other cereals. I just remember eating Fruit Loops because no one else liked them and I loved them. And then we would watch Tintin, like the French created this popular. And we watched it in French with English subtitles, and that's what we did in French club.
Yes.
It was great.
It sounds pretty cool.
It was. Our class president never put up though, so it was really awkward.
I want to touch on the unrealistic part about this though. These girls are probably not even in high school. Most of because professional skating does start at around 16, and so most of the time these girls are homeschooled.
They have time for nothing else.
Yeah, they don't have time for anything else because legitimately they have to do gymnastics, they have to do ballet, they have to do a lot of working out, and then they have to do rink time. Their whole day is just skating and working out and being prepared to skate and these things. And then they at nighttime homeschool. They don't have time for anything. And then while they're traveling to their places is probably when they have the best time for school. So them going to high school unrealistic.
But I can't deny this. I have feeling it's gonna be a good chunk of conversation. The relationship between Casey and her mom.
This relationship is so back and forth.
It's so back and forth, and it hurts me.
Let's describe what Casey's mom is like before we get into
So
this.
Casey's mom
Kind of hippie.
is
Yeah.
yeah. She's very feminist,
Yes, very feminist.
but on such a scale to where anything that even appears to be very superficial or shallow is bad. Then she made the comment to Casey that
Glamorous.
that if she ever saw her in an ice skating outfit, she would lose her mind or whatever, or it would set us back 50 years or something like that. She focuses so much more on in referencing of High School Musical, what Taylor did of we're on the path of education, science, and changing the world.
Her mom is also a professor though.
That's something that doesn't get me, because she did say if I had gone to college, blah blah blah, and I'm
Well, I think she did when that came up in the movie. I think she did school later,
yeah.
and then decided probably in her career since she's already in school so late that she might as well just stay in it and then teach.
But so that's kind of a frame of reference for her mom, and just how much she pressures Casey into just pursuing academia.
Especially with Harvard and this physics project.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
God.
it's clear that Casey, yes, enjoys physics, has a really strong gift for physics.
Especially at the college party, she's estimating that he's a roughly 150 pounds. His projectile is to go
Through the window.
through
There
the
was
window, and then the guy's
I feel like we should explain that. Casey gets convinced by Jen and her to go to a college party.
because Jen wants to see her boyfriend.
And so there's these dumb guys, because they were dumb,
Yeah.
decided to go down a zip line.
On the stairs.
And so Casey is watching this, and she's talking to this guy who plays hockey. And like it goes, like the conversation goes all right until she starts rattling off how this guy's going to go through the window, and it happens, and she's like, "Oh, it's just physics." And this guy's like, "I'm dipping out. That's too smart for me, y'all."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if I was that guy, I'd be like, "Okay, tell me everything you know about physics."
And then Ted shows up, and then he's like, "Physics is cool."
Physics is cool. I don't understand it. It's cool.
But like, back to the mom.
Yes.
Like, that's like she is very harsh on Casey towards pursuing academia, and clearly does not want Casey in any extracurriculars
Yeah.
that are not advantageous to her academia.
And when she finds out about the figure skating, she's not even supportive of it because she's like, this career is only going to last you, like, what, 8 years? Which, this is another unrealistic part. Figure skating can last you much longer than 8 years, considering the fact this girl's, like, 16 going on to nationals towards the end of the movie.
I got so upset when I heard the mom talking this way about Casey's figure skating, because all I could think about was me in band, because I was in band middle school, high school, into college as a music major, and my dad, or any of my family really, never came to any of my marching band competitions or anything like that. But they would go like out of their way for my sister's softball tournaments because that's what they preferred.
Or just her softball practices.
I remember you went to one of your sister's softball things.
Yeah. But they've gone to every single one of her practices, every single one of her games and tournaments. Like, they never missed anything with my sister's softball. My dad would only go to our first concert of the year and the last concert, because that's when jazz band performed with us in one concert. Because during our spring concert, like our winter, middle of the year concert, jazz band wouldn't be with us.
Mm-hmm.
And it just...
So for context, he was not in jazz. So his dad came to listen to a part of the concert that Sean was not a part of.
Yeah, my dad preferred the jazz band, and I wasn't in the jazz band, even though I played saxophone. I just prefer classical saxophone. Don't hate me. But like,
I joined jazz
but
band.
like, I don't know. Like, to me, that part of the movie really just hit way too close to home for me, because I know exactly what Casey felt in that moment, and I wish I had that. Obviously, I'm on a very different career path than what I originally sought out to do when I went to be a music major. But I definitely feel like if I had that support that Casey eventually got in the end, because her mom did come out to see her last, to see her big run through and stuff, then I feel like I would have been able to continue with it, and I would have succeeded a lot more.
I related to Casey in that part of, like, when I was in my 4-year relationship with my ex, he never went to a single one of my games. And, like, you know, as a girl who's in high school, you know, like, you'd hope you'd have a supportive boyfriend. That shit hurt.
I can't speak to the supportive boyfriend thing. I didn't really do anything that, like, you could come out and support me. Like, during high school, I had a lot of babysitting jobs, and it's not like your, like, grandma, she'd come watch you babysit kids. I mean, I bet she could, but that would just be awkward for everyone involved. But, like, I don't know if I talked about this, but I was a theology major. I was a huge Christian, and I kind of stopped in summer of 2020. And I remember wanting to switch majors, and I told my mom that I wasn't, like, vibing with, like, Christian culture at the moment. That's all I told her. I wasn't telling her I was leaving Christianity. I was just like, I'm not vibing with it at the moment. And she didn't speak to me for, like, 2 months.
I will say that I was pretty fortunate to have a mom who is supportive of my sport. Sorry.
It's okay.
I got on a train of thought somewhere else. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I completely understand.
I was like, that is a heartfelt moment. And then I'm like, my brain's like, oh, I need to, like, get this thought out.
Oh,
That was like a dick friend move. I am so sorry.
You caught it, so it's not a big friend move. You apologize.
On with the brain thought. I was fortunate to have a mom and family members who were supportive of the sports that I love to do and my extracurriculars. But however, I felt embarrassed having them there. And my recent test results from so I got my mental health psych evaluation done. It's fine. He can play with it. I play with it. But I recently got like a psych evaluation test, and I'm not going to disclose what I was diagnosed with. But now knowing why I felt embarrassed about my family being there,
it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Sorry, I kind of relate a little bit because I remember when I was in middle school, my youngest sister, she was only like 2 or 3 at the time when I was doing my band concerts, and every single one, she would just yell out, "Sean!"
Oh, that's so cute.
Because that was her favorite and stuff, but it was like, dang it, why? No, don't do this to me.
That's so cute.
I also felt like I always performed better in sports when my family wasn't there watching me, which is also related to what the hell I was diagnosed with. But like,
I definitely tested that because between track, swim, band, winter guard, like it felt like I was just enjoying my time out there, and I definitely do wish my family was there, at least support and stuff. But it's like it never stopped me from like enjoying what I was doing because I absolutely loved it all.
I don't think my family came to any of my track meets though. But to be fair, I don't blame my family for not going to those.
Track and swim meets are hard to keep track of because it's just like a rolling thing of events versus like,
And those things are all day long.
Yeah.
And my stuff was like the first event, and then it's like I'm done, and I'm sitting there for the rest of the day.
yeah.
I mean, my family might pick me up from after that because they're like,
Mhm.
"What are you gonna do?"
I mean, I was a middle distance runner, so like the 800, 400, and the mile. Those are all towards the end
Oh
of the
my
day.
god, that poor you. I mean, I did the 800, so I understand that part, but like, poor you.
Like those are all like around the same time as each other, and they're all towards the end.
I mean,
just-
granted, my rowing did go towards the end because I did qualify, and so like after you finish all your flights, and then the top 8 people who they have to like calculate who the top 8 people are, and so then at the end they're like, "Here's the top 8 people." Woohoo! I'm one of those people. Then you have to sit there and throw after you've been BSing for like 6 hours in the cold with some people, and then you're like, "Oh shit, I gotta like start warming up again."
Jonelle, for everyone at home, what did you do with
Sorry for the cough. I did shot put and discus and an occasional javelin, but in college I did shot put, discus, and hammer throw. Hammer throwing is so fun.
Fun fact, this is the first thing I learned about Jonelle. Jonelle comes up to me, I remember it specifically, and goes, "Hi, I just threw a hammer, nice to meet you." And
I don't even remember this.
this conversation happens, and then the second thing they tell me is, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Hi, it's Jonelle. What are you doing here?" And Jonelle goes, "Oh, my roommate is dating this person," and I'm like, "Okay."
Our friend group in college was a little
Chaotic.
very
Oh my God.
chaotic.
I was a chaotic. I am still a chaotic person. What am I talking? We both are. We all are.
Some of us are just more loud and chaotic than others.
I'm like more on God, but with my friends at home. Chaos. I will say this group of friends here embrace my chaoticness,
Yes.
and this is why this is like where you will see my extrovertedness, and this is probably the only time you'll see my extrovertedness. Otherwise, most of the time I am like in a little shell
Yeah.
at home in my bed with my cat. Recently,
Crystal.
I love Percy. Okay, he did scare me last night though. Because last night I woke up at 1 a.m.
Same.
because I have a sinus infection. So,
Nothing.
and it was just getting hard to breathe because my roommates have the heat turned on in the house, and I'm like, it's boiling in here. I can't breathe. And so I'm like, I'm going to go take some Tylenol. And then it took forever to fall asleep. It took me 4 hours to fall asleep. But I'm giving my cat belly rubs. My cat loves belly rubs. And so we're laying on the bed, and I'm like on my side, he's on his side, and I'm just like sitting there belly rubbing him. And he looks me directly in the eyes. And my cat, he's a tuxedo cat. He's a handsome man. He's a little fancy man. But with your lights turned off in your room and all you see are these cat eyes and a black and white cat, it's kind of scary.
It's so
I
scary.
know the feeling.
Yeah.
We have like a dark gray cat, and so in the middle of the night, you'll just see like two eyes in the darkness.
Or just a shadow moving.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like, except Percy has hints of white. So, like, it made me think of The Nun.
No. This is why I don't watch horror movies.
And I was just like, oh my god, you're kind of terrifying to look at, Percy. So then I turned on birds on TikTok.
Birds.
And I was
Like
just like,
literal birds.
well, yeah, literal birds. And I'm like, here you go, bud. Watch the birds. I can't look at you right now. You're freaking me out.
Can you recognize them by sound?
Call back. Call back to a previous episode. Which one? Say in the comments below.
I mean, it's an obvious one. You can say it. It's the big year.
The Big Year. Well, no one who has watched The Big Year knows what The Big Year is about.
If you guys haven't seen our episode on the big year, check it out. It's a really weird episode.
It has
Oh,
Jack
I started
Black.
going to Mary Poppins.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you guys started going on with it. I was like, oh, that too, yes.
Yeah. So,
shout out to our previous episode.
Back to the movie, though.
question for you guys.
Yes.
Because this movie does speak a lot about, like, passions in life and everything. And we are still pretty young adults. We're all in our mid to early 20s.
You know what my youngest passion was?
But, like, we're all heading in careers, and obviously we enjoy our careers, regardless of who our higher ups are. But, like, we all love the jobs we have, but is there something that you feel passionate about besides our lovely podcast? Because we all love our Disney movies, this is why we do the podcast. That, like, if there was a way to pursue a career in it, or something that you feel passionate about or absolutely love, as much as Casey managed to learn to love figure skating.
We all know what my other passion is, and I could absolutely pursue a career in this. Cooking.
You have yet to talk about cooking on the podcast.
That's just a good point. So before I went into accounting, I had a job in management in a kitchen. And I spent 7 years before any accounting work cooking. I went to nationals for cooking too.
I did not know this about you.
Yeah. So I had to create a mock business. I named it 65 Plus because I named it based off of what the genre of the food I had made. I had to create a dish that had 6 or more grams of protein for elderly people. And so I was just like, name it 65 Plus because I was 18 and I was a senior and I'm just like, I gotta get this done. But I created a butternut squash chicken Alfredo dish that provided fiber and whole grains and used low-fat milk and things like that to make the Alfredo. Took me to nationals. So I went to Georgia for a week, and I won second place. And the person who won first place, this honestly makes no sense. They had obviously the same category as me, and they put caviar in their dish, and I'm just like, what elderly person is eating caviar? Like fishing. It's like,
I could point you to a retirement home I know of where they are.
but I'm just like, in overall generalness, out of that whole population for elderly people, most of them are not going to be eating caviar.
That's true.
So I'm just kind of like, obviously we can't like watch people's presentations. But like in this, I had to create a fake business and I had to go over, I also had to test my business out. So what I did is at my school, I was also in the culinary class at my school. So I gave everyone in my class my recipe. We had a whole banquet. I had to serve this to people. And
Did people like it?
yeah. The football players ate it, so I think we're good.
Football players will eat anything. I feel like this is a low bar.
That's like saying I can get fish and swim.
But I also served this to my family, and they liked it. So I mean, there's good reviews. But also, like, football players, their families had to eat this. The staff member had to eat this. So
Okay,
it was not just the boys. Okay.
It wasn't just the football.
I think they may have liked the dessert better though, but like the dessert was not part of that project. But so how to create this fake business? I had to. What's funny is I never wrote down the recipe, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah, here's all the ingredients I used. Here's what you should do. And then when it comes down to actually having to put this on the board, I was like, man, I'm like really bad at this when it comes to cooking though. I don't write down any of my recipes because I'm just like, we'll just add a dash of this and a dash of this and a cup of this and a quarter cup of this. And I'm like, oh, bam, we got a meal, baby. And so that's kind of how my cooking style is. And it works out pretty well. I made some bomb food.
I keep staring at your shirt. I'm sorry, because
That's okay.
I just keep looking at all the evolutions, and then it really bothers me. There's no recipe on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I got it at Hot Topic.
The shirt is SB.
Sorry. So if you've been watching me during the podcast, I'll just like stare at Jordel's chest, and it's like because I'm like all of it.
I also got a Perry the Platypus shirt there too, and on the back it says Agent P.
Okay.
So anyways, back to cooking.
Say Megan needs a shirt.
That is true. Okay, I'm just gonna finish this up real quick. Anyway, my second place at nationals. I've done cooking for 7 years. Went into management for cooking at some point, and then there are some shitty managers, and I don't want to put any trigger warnings, so I'm just gonna try and keep this PG friendly. It really messed with my mental health, like really, really messed with my mental health that I had to leave this job. There was also some drama going on that caused
capital D.
yeah, husband and wife in the same kitchen. Not a good idea.
Ever.
And that messed more with my mental health on top of the other stuff of my peers who I had worked with. And I was getting my degree in accounting. And the reason why I was getting my degree in accounting and business management is because I still intend to open my own bakery / restaurant later in life. And I don't trust people with my money. So I got a degree in accounting and business management so I could run my own business because I got trust issues. And now I'm falling into the career of, and of course this is to fund my business later on in life, but now I'm just going down the career path of accounting, and I'm now looking more into governmental accounting. So now we're going to start looking into possibly going into police training to do forensic accounting and stuff like that. But
Okay.
Connections?
Some like you've told me a lot, and I didn't want to answer for you.
I don't know.
Like if you didn't have to work, like if you weren't working with children in a daycare and stuff, where would you like if you could have anything, something you absolutely love,
Oh my
and
gosh.
want to pursue?
Don't know. Come back to me. You go
Okay.
first.
Well, obviously I work in a hospital, and like I'm doing a lot of good things, and I'm absolutely invested in my job a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could, I would go back to falling back to what I was doing before with music and being a music major. I still love it. I still play piano every day, playing Disney songs on my piano. I love it a lot, and like I know how to use like sound equipment. And once we get some sound equipment, I will be having my best life. But like, I miss it. I loved marching band. I loved winter guard. I loved the performing arts a lot, and I was good at it. I remember when I was so. For those who don't know, winter guard is basically a dance team
With swords?
with weapons. Like there's just basic dancing, but you also
think of Cadet Kelly.
yes and no. If you've seen like a marching, like classic like college marching band halftime show with like the marching band and the people with the flags, that's the flag people take away the band. That's Winter Guard. And they have rifles, sabers, flags, nothing. Sometimes hula hoops.
That's what I was thinking.
I-
Kelly, because of the guy.
But I've never.
They're not loaded guns.
Yeah.
No, they're literally like wooden, like blocks of wood, shaped like guns.
Like think children's toy, but like make it bigger.
Yeah.
And heavier.
And like, well, toss them, catch them, spin them, all the fun things with them. And I joined it my junior year. Never did anything performing wise prior to it, and I only did it my junior and senior year after convincing my parents to let me. And my senior year, we did a performance for the entire school in an assembly, and that same year, my senior year, they actually apparently started a ballroom dance team, and the teacher that was in charge of it actually came up to me after the assembly and said, "Please tell me you're not a senior." And I'm like, "I am." He goes, "Damn it, I wanted you for my ballroom dance team." And I was
I
like,
remember that one time we went to the ballroom dance club.
I remember, I loved that day. That was so much fun.
That was a little bit of an awkward day.
It was awkward because we were dancing with each other and we don't do like things like that.
Yeah, no. It really messed with the Frank up there.
Yeah.
Like, we do not hug, and we were kind of forced into a position to, like...
Be embraced.
And it was just like...
It's awkward watching us hug. I don't do it. And I'm
Yeah.
a hugger. I am a hugger. I love hugging people, but I cannot hug you.
Yeah, I can't hug you either.
But, like, it made me so sad in that moment when that teacher asked me that during my senior year because, like, he was like, he's done ballroom dancing professionally. And he obviously saw something in me. And it was only my second year. Like, it felt like a Casey moment to me. Like, I had this talent that I was good at. And to me, clearly, it wasn't something I was ever cultivated because I was always made fun of for not having a sense of rhythm. But then I could, and able to do ballroom dance.
It's like how I was made fun of being like sounding like a dying animal when I sing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met him and he's like, "Oh no, you sound really good." And I'm like, "What?"
But yeah, like performing arts between dance and like playing my saxophone again, like actually playing it again. Like I would love to pursue it again, but it's a chapter of my life I had to close, and it makes me sad very often that chapter is closed. But I'm still doing great things at the hospital, so it feels that way, but not the same way.
Oh no, it's my turn. Well, unlike these two, I didn't really have hobbies growing up. I was basically told that school was my job, and so I would get home, and then I'd do homework, and then I'd eat, and then do more homework, and then I'd go to bed. And that's what I did every day until college, until I worked at a homeless shelter, where my boss was like, "Hey, Megan, you need to get a life outside of this job, otherwise you're going to go crazy." And I was like, "Cool, I don't have any hobbies." You mean no hobbies? Yeah.
Can I tell you two things you have told me during your year and you didn't go from there?
Oh yeah. Okay, sure. Oh no. Okay.
I'm trying not to prompt her, but like she hates being put on the spot, so I just gave her some casual reminder of things she has told me in the last few years of stuff she wished she could do or things that she's called her dream job.
Oh my gosh. So I kind of am obsessed with these channels on YouTube called The Game Theorists. And Matt Pat just retired, and I'm like obsessed with GT Live. I watch it every update, except for the latest Scooby episode, because it just gave me a headache. And he just sounds boring. Anyway, and so like I was joking with Sean, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you know what would be a great dream job? To be like the creative director for the GT Live, because it'd be so much fun." And then the other one, if you've ever seen the Imagineering series on Disney Plus, you would know it's incredible. It made me cry, and I like watched it during like some winter break, and I was like, "Sean, like I really want to like be the person who creates magic at Disneyland or Disney World," but I wanted it to be at Disneyland or at Hawaii because I'm almost cold here. I'm always freezing. But with that being said, I have neither skill set to do neither job. And so realistically, I look at these jobs just like how Jonelle looks at being a figure skater now and be like, that would be so cool. I am in no way, shape, or form.
Here's the
able
thing,
to
though,
do
is I
it.
could do the figure skating.
I can't do engineering. I can't do math.
Hi, theorist channels.
So
Send us
Please
an
recruit Megan.
I'd
Be
awesome.
very blunt recruiter. She's sweet. If you can't tell, she's a great friend.
and she loves to like.
Oh,
Here's to turn this away from just being a hey theorists. Matt Pat's leaving GT Live and still needs to see me for GT Live, but like genuinely, the one thing that any person would be lucky to have for would be how much you love learning.
it's true.
There was a solid year where all Megan would do was post a daily fun fact on her Snapchat story. And I mean daily, so much so that she went to Europe and wouldn't have access to Snapchat, and she actually held me accountable to posting fun facts every day for the month that she was gone. And every time I got to talk to her, I had to send her each individual fun fact so that way she would make sure that I was keeping up on it.
It's true. Yeah, I like that kind of fun fact. Like, did you know goats have accents? If you put one,
This is what
No!
I need. No, it's not. No goats have accents.
so if you put a goat from like I don't know somewhere from like Seattle and a goat from Texas together, they won't understand each other. They will like
Wow.
literally freak out. They're like, "What are you doing?" Which I understand. You put me with someone from Texas, and I don't understand what they're saying either. Cows have best friends. Just take that to heart. Cows have best friends. They bond.
That's adorable.
Me cows.
Moo. Yes, we are cows.
Okay, yeah. Those are my two fun facts for the day. Maybe I'll add some more. Oh no,
I'm sorry for the awkwardness.
Also, on the cooking thing, we need a Mr. Chef update.
We have a Mr. Chef update after us alluding to him for months.
Me and
Is
him
he,
started.
is he a Ted? So, for reference, Ted is a really great guy in this movie.
I love Ted. I
He is
need a
supportive.
Zamboni driver now.
He is supportive. He is intrigued. Like
He's also smart.
he's also smart.
It was so funny. Like when he first met Casey, he was just like, "Yeah, total spy code."
Just because you had a journal full of a bunch of sciencey stuff.
Yeah, like she had like a whole bunch of like physics things in there.
she tried recording this in the skating rink, and the mom was terrified that she was scoping out.
Also, like that computer that she had that shows the calculations while the figure skaters are doing their movements, so cool.
So
Oh my
ahead of
gosh.
its time.
Oh.
So
So cool.
way ahead of time.
But anyways, going on with Ted and Mr. Chef.
Is he a Ted?
That we don't know yet.
I don't think so.
I would love for Mr. Chef to be a Ted, you know, be the supportive Zamboni driver who brings the Zamboni over to my pond and turns it into ice so I can skate all the time I want. So cute. But, and also, like, brings me flowers and, you know, it's just, I wanted Ted. But,
I just want a Zamboni.
you know, that's a fair one. I think it's cool to try.
I love Zamboni so much.
I love watching Zambonis go on the ice because then it goes from scratchy to smooth.
Oh my gosh, my cousins also played hockey, and I would stick around after and watch the Zamboni, and I was like, this is my favorite part. And my cousins would get offended. You're welcome, cousins!
See, I grew up watching hockey and stuff back at home, and so they would have two Zambonis on the ice, and I would just watching them like they were like asynchronous, where like one would go down while the others coming around, and then like it was like just this constant motion of going like this.
It's satisfying.
It's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
I told like uncle once I wanted to be a Zamboni driver, and he was like, why would you do so little with your life?
It's a good part-time job. Just be a Zamboni driver. Who cares? But Mr. Chef, we are talking again.
Not ghosting you this time?
Yeah, he hasn't been ghosting me, which is nice.
In his words, or
We're just having casual conversations. We had a few conversations about like potentially meeting up again. I don't think that's gonna happen, but
no, you might ghost him.
yeah, I know. I'm totally expecting it too.
Mm-hmm.
But he has the capabilities to be Ted. I know he does, but like,
and all guys do. All guys have the potential to be a Ted.
and I know what's holding him back.
His job.
Well, his job, and also,
Deep personal things.
yeah.
But guys make the choices that they make.
Yes, they do.
There is
People make choices that they're gonna make.
Regardless of their gender.
Yeah.
We support all genders.
yes.
But boys will be boys.
And girls will be girls. And non-binary people will just be non-binaries.
Yes, but guys need to buy that it's not a biological thing. They make these choices. Yeah.
You speaking as a guy.
I'm speaking as a guy. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of the male community and their treatment towards females. Not a fan.
We did have a conversation though, like about our mental health, and realized that we do experience the same things.
That's good.
Or
So, which is why I'm like, I've always been understanding of like kind of why he ghosts me, and I'm like, I kind of figured that was the reason why, and then we kind of like had more of this conversation about it, and realized, yeah, that's probably the main reason, because we both have these same feelings, but we're two different people, and I react differently, and he reacts differently, and I think his are more severe than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying we have the same mental health issues, but I do think they might be some characteristics of them. So,
I think it's just about time for us to wrap up. So, how would you rate this movie?
10.
How would you rate this movie?
Let's give it 9 ice skates out of 10.
I'll sit there with you with a 9 out of 10.
I
It definitely exceeded my expectations.
It was better than a big year.
The Big Year is still weird movie. Please check out the Big Year episode. It was weird.
Or just go check out the movie. It has Jack Black and the guy who plays Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. Check out the episode if you want to hear our commentary on it. So
What a big year.
What a big year.
it's always a big year.
But check out this movie, because there's a lot of like character development with like every character.
Like we can't get into it enough. It would take a longer episode to go in depth about every
Like
character.
my favorite character was Jen. Her development
Oh yeah.
was insane.
Last and final question though, who's your favorite skater out of the movie?
Like, are we talking
I
strictly
know.
based
On skills.
performances? Okay.
I gotta give it to Casey, especially like I know this was scripted, obviously, but the storytelling of like when she fell in her final performance, and getting up when they're talking when the song like mentions a phoenix. I'm sorry, that's too perfect. I would almost say that was scripted fall.
Yeah.
Like if I was a coach, I would make that scripted fall. That's bad, but
I think Nikki was my favorite performer.
Yes. Team Nikki here. Woo! The jumping strip.
The jumping strip. There's nothing wrong against Casey. I just feel like her last performance, I know like it was really good at like the middle to the end part. She biffed it at like the bridge. She like rolled in that one. Whoops, sorry girl. Sorry, I just spit everywhere. That's okay. We're awkward. But
I just love the energy.
yeah,
She's this tiny little girl, and she's just like jumping.
she's a spit fire. And it's just so much fun to watch her. But Casey is more like an elegant. It's like the princesses Anna versus
Tiffany is elegant.
oh yeah, Tiffany's really elegant, but like we get
Casey is that middle ground between Nikki and Tiffany.
I just really like Nikki's because
Second runner-up, though, I really love Jen's skating.
Jen's skating is really good.
Jen is very classic to what you see. And then there's
Actually, my second is probably Zoe.
Sorry.
Because it's just different. It's just a little bit more spunky. It's just a little bit more like, oh really? Oh really?
I didn't mean to keep this going, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just genuinely curious.
It's like this movie has a lot in it. It's
Yeah.
hard for us to really capture how much happens in this movie. Like,
But if you want us to do a part 2, leave 1,000 likes down below.
I appreciate the challenges.
Which, speaking of which,
This one will already
oh,
be way
that is
past.
true. Dang. Okay, well, I guess you'll find out
Yeah.
if we end up doing a beauty pageant or not.
You get a little bonus episode if there was a beauty pageant or not.
So far, there is no beauty pageant.
Just saying.
What are we gonna do if there's no beauty pageant? We gotta set up a new challenge.
We will have to set up a new challenge.
We'll figure that out as we go.
Let us know what you want our new challenge to be. Don't have it be involved ice skating. It won't involve me.
Again.
Come on!
Anyways,
I
bye
can't.
everyone.
I can't.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
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 Bye.